The question is, can you build a cold plunge like this for not that much money and keep it cold even in the summer? Sure can. Guys, this is our $320 cold plunge. I love it. I use it all of the time. It's my own design. I've seen a lot of people copy it, which I'm so happy about because as a builder, that's what you want. Let me show you how we built it. Before we start, there's a lot of things to consider when building a cold plunge. Do I have a chiller? Do I not have a chiller? We decided to go with no chiller. And I know that that's a little bit of a controversial move, but first of all, I just didn't have the money, so I just wanted to try it first with no chiller and big ice cubes. And so we can show you a little bit about how we use those big ice cubes to keep the temperature down as cold as we can. But there's a bunch of ways that you can approach this. You could do a chiller, you could do no chiller. Truth be told, I'll probably add a chiller in the future. What kind of tank do you want? I chose a Rubbermaid 100-gallon tank. I bought that on Amazon. You can buy it at your local supply store as well. I bought my cold plunge initially in the winter. I didn't have any of this built. I just had the stock tank and I had a cover that I bought from Amazon. Because it was in the winter, I just brought it out here, filled it up with water, didn't think anything else of it. It was so cold that the water just stayed like just barely above freezing actually. Sometimes it would freeze over. So I didn't even need to worry about a chiller or ice cubes or anything like that until the weather started to warm up. I've always loved the idea of temperature adapting for Alzheimer's, for dementia. Temperature adaptation can increase brown fat in your body. There's tons of health benefits to cold plunge. One thing that people do worry about is blunting your gains from your workouts. That's a true thing. So if you're lifting weights in the morning and then you cold plunge, that can kind of reduce some of the benefits that you're going to see from weightlifting. So there are times to cold plunge. I do it after I sauna. So there are days when I get up and I run. I usually do cardio, so I run a few miles and then I sauna. And I've noticed that when I sauna, I'm just exhausted afterwards. I'm so tired. And then I immediately come from the sauna, 185 degrees, into the cold plunge, which is, maybe 40 degrees, and I am instantly so wide awake. I also noticed that my blood pressure when I'm in the sauna is around 130 beats per minute. And as soon as I get into the cold plunge, probably within 10 seconds, my blood pressure can go from 130 beats per minute down to 60 and then 55, and it gets really low. So there are tremendous relaxation and health benefits associated with the cold plunge. All right, let's overview the budget. We had two 4x8 sheets of high quality plywood for about $108. Along with my two 4x8 plywood sheets, I actually got two 4x8 pieces of sheet insulation. That's the purple insulation that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's at the hardware store. Then I had four 8-foot 2x4s, and that was maybe $15. I bought a 10-foot by 12-foot waterproof tarp that will go into the interior lining of this and also lining the lid. I bought a 10-foot by 24-inch foil insulation wrap, a roll. I used that on my sauna and I just had leftover, so I used that to insulate the cold plunge as well. Okay, this wood that I put on the outside of the cold plunge, I actually got for free, but you can buy a lot of wood at the hardware store that's just 1 by 3/4 inch, whatever it is, and that'll be a great fit for you. Of course, you need some 3-inch screws. You need some, maybe 1 3/4 inch screws, some staples, some finished brad nails, and then these barn door handles that I bought on Amazon, and we'll link to the description for those as well. The total cost of this was $316. I couldn't be more pleased with how it turned out. Even though I got this wood for free, I've broken this out as if someone is starting from scratch. Let's show you how we did it. All right, before I even started on this cold plunge, I waterproofed these stairs. So these stairs were open and there was a lot of rain that would come through, snow that would come through, and it would just kind of drip into this area here. I knew I wanted the cold plunge right in this spot and I wanted it to be protected by this area. I got 2 plywood sheets and I screwed them to the bottom of the stairs, and then I got a waterproof tarp and I stapled that on, and then I just added this shiplap for looks. It's totally watertight, water has never come through, and this offers a nice space for me to be able to come in the winter and in the summer. Step 1, buy the materials. I went to Home Depot, I got my 2 large sheets of plywood. I also got my 2.5 inch foam insulation boards. I got my 2x4s. I already had all the screws and the staples and the brad nails, so I got all of that and I took it home right here to this backyard to start my project. Step 2, trace the outline of the stock tank onto a piece of plywood. What I did is I just laid out my first piece of plywood right here where I'm sitting, and I just grabbed my stock tank and I just turned it over. It's empty, of course. I turned it over and I used a pencil to just trace the outline of that stock tank. And then this is going to be the base of how I make this. I left a 2.5-inch border between the edge of the tank and the total edge that I was going to actually, it's this ring piece right here. Step 3, cut out the lid, the ring, and the base. I used my stock tank as a table, and I just placed my plywood right on top of the empty tank and used my jigsaw to first cut out the oval ring and then the inner ring. The ring portion is more fragile, so be careful not to break it. The base, the bottom of the tank, is an identical oval to the diameter of the ring. So when all the pieces are cut out, they look like this. Step 4, attach 6 2x4 vertical boards or legs to the base and to the ring. So I designed the lid to fit flush on top of the stock tank so that it just fits right in there. The boards are the exact height of the tank, which I can't remember. I cut 6 2x4s to attach upwards from that base, 2 on each side just before it begins to curve, and then 1 at each crest or the top. It looks like this. I did this by positioning the 2x4s where I wanted them, and then using a pencil to trace an outline. Then inside that outline, I drilled 3 small pilot holes, and then I placed the base onto the stock tank, and then I carefully situated the 2x4s under it and drilled those right in. I used 2 1.75-inch screws and 1 3-inch screw for each leg. Then I flipped the whole thing over to attach the ring on the other side. Step 5, power sand the edges of the ring and of the base. So I just used a jigsaw to cut these out. And some people will actually hook up a rig and actually make this, you know, a perfect circle. I didn't do that. I used my jigsaw, so the edges were a little bit jagged. And because they were jagged, I just grabbed my palm sander and I just sanded all of the parts that were gonna fit into one another just to make sure that they weren't jagged and they were smooth. Step 6 is attach the ring to those legs and to the base. So instead of using 3 screws on each one of those legs, I only used 1 because this is kind of a pretty ring on the top and I didn't want to mar it, but I do have 6 holes. I did pilot holes, and then I did 1 3-inch screw to attach that ring to the top. Step 7, surround the whole thing with foil insulation. All right, I don't know if this is even necessary, but this is what I did. I had just built a sauna and I had leftover double-sided foil insulation. So I decided to go ahead and add that reflective foil insulation all around. The sun kind of beats down. It's right where I am right now on this area. And I wanted that to repel the sun and keep it cool inside. So I just wrapped that foil insulation around the whole thing and stapled it with my staple gun to the ribs or to those legs. Step 8, install vertical slats all around the frame. Now, this is where you might differ a little bit from where I've done. A lot of people have gone and they've just found some nice wood at their hardware store, to Home Depot, Lowe's, and they've cut that to size and they've wrapped their barrel sauna with this. I had this wood gifted from my Austrian buddy whose sauna burned down, and these used to be the benches of his sauna. So I had this wood already on hand, but this was actually the funnest part of this project because it went really fast. I cut all of these to size, they're all exactly the same length, and then I just used my nail gun to drive nails in the bottom and in the top so that they were bolted to this ring at the top and they were bolted to the base at the bottom. And just one by one as they kind of went in, the whole thing started to take shape. Step 9, sand the edges of the slats at the top. So I just used my power sander and I just wanted this whole thing to just kind of be, you know, I'm going to be climbing in and out of this, you know, almost every day. So I didn't want to be scratching myself or hurting myself. And so I just went ahead and sanded this down, my orbital sander, just to make sure that it was all smooth. Step 10, insert foam insulation into the interior of the frame. Since it's curved, this is a little bit of a tricky step, so let me just explain what I did. I grabbed my purple 4x8 sheet of foam insulation, and I just figured I'm just gonna make this fit as best I can and try to insulate this as best as I can. So what I did is I actually treated that foam insulation like 2x4s. I measured the inside in between the base and this top ring. I measured that distance, and then I just cut a bunch of what I would call 2x4 looking pieces of that foam, and I just went inside and I jammed them all kind of in there between the legs or the ribs of this structure to just insulate that as well as possible. So I packed them really tight. There were some edges sometimes exposed where I needed to cut a little tiny thin piece and put that in. but I just jam-packed that whole thing with those insulated insulation pieces. The result looked like this photo here. I insulated everywhere that wasn't a 2x4 board, and then I cut thin little strips that I could and wedged them into the larger gaps to make it very, very tight. Step 11 is to install waterproofing tarp inside of the frame. So I recognize that sometimes when I get in and out of the cold plunge, sometimes my kids use it and we splash, and so sometimes, I mean, every once in a while I'll feel it too high, and then when I get in, the displacement water will actually come over the top. So I wanted to kind of waterproof the inside so that it's not just sitting there. So I grabbed my waterproof tarp that I had bought and I put it inside and I started to staple it to the base, and I just worked my way around, kind of folding and getting all of the edges to where it's very clean, but that way the whole thing has that waterproof tarp insulated inside. Step 12, attach the handles and insulate the lid. I love these handles. I really recommend these handles. They're sturdy, they're strong, they're barn door handles. I'll link a product description, but that allows me to just pick it up with two hands and put the lid right by me while I'm plunging, and then to just put that right back on. So what I did is I actually attached those handles first. I found the center, and then I just kind of figured out what was comfortable for me, and I attached the handles. And then I went to insulating the underside of the lid. Heat rises, so I don't know that you even need to do this. I don't think that a lot of cold is coming off of this, but what I did is I decided to insulate the bottom of that lid. I took the measurement of the interior, actually just to put one of my big pieces of foam board insulation on the ground. I put the cold plunge on top, upside down. I drew that line, and then I took the interior measurement of that, and I just cut that out so that it's one big piece that would just nest kind of, you know, right inside. And how that looks is like this. This is that piece of insulated foam board insulation, and then this is more of that waterproof tarping that I've just gone ahead and stapled right to this lid so that it can kind of come on and off. You're almost done. Step 13, fill with hose water and add ice. All right, so this is the most satisfying step. You fill it up with hose water and you add your ice, whether it's 2 gallon bags of ice blocks that you freeze in a chest freezer like I do and drop in there, or whether you get a chiller. And a lot of people have adapted these plans to a chiller. I will likely add a chiller in the future, or if you're buying bags of ice. Throughout the winter, if you live in a place where it gets as cold as it does where I live, you're not gonna need ice, you're not gonna need to keep it cold because it's gonna stay cold. What's interesting is even if our temperature drops below freezing, the water actually doesn't freeze anymore because it's well insulated in there. And with my ice bags, I'm able to drop it even on the hottest of days. Today's 104 degrees. Even on the hottest of days, I'm able to drop this to 50 degrees, sometimes the high 40s. But that's how I've been able to keep it cold. One rule of thumb that I've liked is if it's in the 50s, you can stay in for 5 minutes. If it's in the 40s, you can stay in for 4 minutes. And if it's in the 30s, just try to stay in for 3 minutes. This setup has worked awesome for me. Getting the ice blocks in and out of the freezer, dropping them in here, adding them, back to the freezer. Sometimes they've split, the ice has actually split the bags, but it's been a great introductory step before I was ready to take the full plunge and get the chiller. The way that I sanitize this is I just get 1-inch chlorine tablets, and I have a little floaty, and I just go ahead and put those into the floaty and into the tub. Every once in a while, when I change the water, what I'll do is I have a sump pump that I bought on Amazon. I'll drop the sump pump in, drain all the water out, I sanitize it with some disinfectant, I wipe the whole thing down, spray it all out, and then I just replace it and fill it up with water again. This has been a really fun project for me. A lot of people have loved coming over and seeing it, trying it. I've had a lot of friends and neighbors come and try it. The cold plunge is an incredible experience. People ask me all the time, are you happy with your cold plunge? Do you actually use it? What are the benefits that you're actually going for? I'll tell you, for the most part, it's paired with sauna. And we built a sauna in our home. We have a video for that as well. The benefits of sauna are clear. There's a huge decrease in the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia for people who utilize sauna on a regular basis. For me, it's difficult to use the sauna without having a cold plunge. When I sauna, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at 185 degrees, I'm exhausted afterwards. I feel so beat. I feel exhausted. But when I can come in to a cold plunge and immediately get shocked with that 30, 40 degree water, sitting in it for a couple minutes, I feel absolutely rejuvenated. I feel so good after I come out of a cold plunge. Those are the benefits for me. There's also a mental fortitude that comes with knowing that early in the morning you have already done the hardest thing you're gonna do all day. Sometimes when I get into 37 degree water, for example, for 4 or 5 minutes, it is so painful to sit there and force yourself into a meditative state so that you can feel the way that you're supposed to be feeling. But when I come out of it, I feel so good, and I feel good for hours. I really feel almost like a euphoria, and I kind of crave it. There's days when I don't cold plunge that I really miss it, and I kind of start to crave it. So the benefits are both physical and they're mental. There's also some emotional regulation benefits that people have seen. So yes, I use it. Yes, I love it. Yes, I crave it. It's a part of my life. And I think that it's something that should be part of yours as well. If this has been helpful for you in any way, if you like this kind of thing, please like and subscribe or comment. It really helps me. Thank you for watching.